Well, Microsoft have finally dropped the motherload of Bethesda games over on the Xbox Game Pass. Now, sadly, not every platform gets every game, which means that there's a glaring omission from the PC lineup, but I'll get to that. So they dropped 20 games in total, and there is truly something for everyone here, and did we expect anything less? Bethesda is well renowned for putting out some of the top titles over the years, so let's get down to it. And I note now that these are in no particular order, they're just what I would recommend for each particular genre. Please subscribe, keep the doggo smiling. Number 1. First, let's talk Doom. It's a classic. I actually played Doom 3 before I played the original, and they are very different games. But let's keep this simple. You can't go wrong with Doom Eternal. The modern reboot of the classic was not only a fitting tribute, but it maintained the fast-paced action and brutality. So you want hard-hitting, fast-paced action, loads of gore, epic metal, then Doom Eternal is your game. Plus, the engine is fantastically coded and well optimized, and it'll run well on a lot of older hardware, so it gets bonus points for that alone. Number 2. Wolfenstein: The New Order. Easily the best of the 3 Wolfenstein games that have been released on the pass. The Old Blood is certainly worth a look as well. Youngblood, well, I had the pleasure of playing that via a friend who had the deluxe version, and I wouldn't be rushing to play it again, sadly. For newcomers, Wolfenstein is based in a world where the Nazis won World War II and control most of the world. It is certainly not for the faint of heart, as the game will cover some disturbing topics and scenes at times, so you have been warned. However, if you want a classic action shooter, then this is the game for you. It's a little dated in some of its mechanics, but it's got a good skill tree with reasonable gunplay. The story attempts to be a bit more grounded in reality, giving up some of the more occult and mystical offerings of previous entries. The New Order is well worth grabbing if you have the pass, and if you enjoy it, certainly grab the Old Blood next. Number 3. The Elder Scrolls. No, I can't recommend grabbing the entire series, that would be crazy. And it includes one of the omissions from the PC releases, as we will not be given the Elder Scrolls Online. Not that I'm missing it too much. For me, there are 2 standout games in this series here, and I'm really struggling with which one to put here. They are both somewhat different experiences, and in some respects they offer very similar experiences. The classic that you simply can't get away from is Morrowind. Perhaps it is the pinnacle of the series so far to many, yet even with mods there's no escaping this is a dated game. And my admission here is that I've never actually finished it. I came to it long after its release. So, while I can highly recommend Morrowind, controversially, number 3 on this list has to be Skyrim Special Edition. It's just a much more up-to-date experience and sucked me in a lot more than Morrowind did. Sadly, I can't really tell you why that is. I think everybody will have a preference here, but if you're looking for an adventure RPG, you truly can't go wrong with either game. And both games have had massive modding communities over the years, so there's plenty there to add extra content and also upgrade the graphics of both. Hopefully all the mods will work with the Xbox app versions. Number 4. Dishonored and Dishonored 2. Can they both be on one item on this list? Who cares, it's my video, I'm making the rules. So yes, they're both here at number 4. Dishonored is an action-adventure game that has forever been overshadowed by Bethesda's more popular titles. However, it's a game, along with its sequel, that rates extremely highly among players, with overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam for the first game. Sadly, just like Prey, which was also released on the pass, this game just never reached its full potential, due to bigger names budging it out the market. While it's certainly a typical action-adventure game in some respects, it mixes this up with a variety of supernatural powers, which lend well to playing in a both stealthy and non-stealthy way. The variety of map areas also makes for interesting gameplay interaction. The story is quite engaging if you let it settle, and the sequel follows the story on a number of years later. In Dishonored 2 you have the option of playing 2 different characters, each with their own specific supernatural skills, which again lend themselves both well to stealth and non-stealth gameplay. With more significant skill trees, optional playstyles, and story choices, various hidden clues mean that no 2 playthroughs will be the same. Both these games are well worth it if you have the Game Pass. Now, one could say I've saved the best till last, but there are a couple of reasons I've held off on this one. Number 5 is Fallout New Vegas. Of all the Fallout games, it is my favourite by far. It took Fallout 3, made it slightly more complex, and gave it a more engaging story, and they tried some very interesting mechanics with the DLC. One of the few games where I was determined to play till the end, including all the DLC. So yes, first and foremost, I was saving the best till last. The second reason it's here is because they have not released it on the PC. This is console only. What the actual, insert a lot of profanity here, Microsoft. Your best Fallout title limited to one platform. What on earth are you doing? Fallout 4 was fine, but it felt weirdly overly simplified compared to New Vegas. But since that's the best choice for the PC, go for it. For those considering Fallout 76, well, I'm not going to go there. I've been told they've done various updates which have improved the game, but I don't have the time or the inclination to revisit that one, sadly. However, if you want a multiplayer experience, this is really your only option. So I guess for PC by default, it's Fallout 4 here. And it's not a bad game, it just didn't grab me like New Vegas did. And before you go, it's not in the numbered list, but I'd like to make an honourable mention for Prey. I can't put it on the main list because I think it has a bit of a Marmite feel about it. You either love it or you hate it. It was an attempt at doing a shooter adventure game with a significant twist, and it comes very much out of left field the way it does it. It has no relation to the original game of the same name, nor does it link up with the planned follow-up to the original about being a space bounty hunter. I can't help but feel this game suffers from being attached to that legacy rather than going for an entirely new franchise. And if it did, I think it would have done better. Taken from Steam, it has very positive reviews overall. If you have it on pass and you enjoy sci-fi shooter games, then give it a go. You shouldn't be disappointed. Well, that's my list. Do you agree with my choices? Do you not? Let me know down below. What would be on your top 5 list of Bethesda games, even if they're not included in the pass bundle? Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Please like, share and subscribe. And hit the bell, cause that's the in thing these days. Have a fantastic weekend.